good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Emma J. Spiritual Boy. I have a little short word for y'all tonight, and it's gonna come from Exodus chapter 34, verse 29 to 35, and the title is the readiness, face of Moses. Remember yesterday he asked to see God's glory. So he gonna be he gonna see his glory, right? He gonna be right on him. So now Moses are still on the mountain with God. So when Moses came down from the mountain with the two tablets of the covenant, law in his hand, Moses was not aware that his face, was radiant, because he had spoken with the Lord. So remember, Moses not aware of his face. So Aaron and the Israelite, just saw his face. It was Moses, and Moses' face was radiant, and the Israelite was afraid. He all lit up. So when Aaron and the Israelite was going towards near him, he all lit up. His face was just lit up, So they got afraid. They didn't want to go near. So when Aaron and the community, the leaders, they went near Moses. And so when the Israelites saw everybody else went near Moses, because, they was afraid, then they went near Moses. So Moses have two tablets. You remember he broke the first one, and he gave them all the commands the Lord had given him. So now Moses finished speaking to them, and Moses then put a veil over his face until he came out. So every time he was among the Israelites, Aaron and the rest of them, he'll put the veil on his face. But when it just him and God, he'll remove the veil off of his face. So whenever he entered the Lord presence, to speak, he removed the veil, but he came out and he told the Israelites the command that God had given him to speak to the Israelites. So they saw that his face, was radiant. And then Moses put the veil, back on his face, and he speak with the Israelite. Because every time he speaks to the Israelite, he put the veil on his face. He didn't want them to see the glory of him all lit up in his face. So he saw that his face, remember he wasn't aware of his face. So now he saw his face, it was all lit up. And then Moses had put the veil back on his face. And whenever he speak with the Israelite, the veil was on his face. So Moses' conversation with God transformed his consciousness so lit up that his face, shine. And with the glory, his face has shined with the glory, of God. Now Moses put a veil on his face, the glory of God, from the people, the fame of the glory of Moses' face, as evidence, that the old covenant temporary end will be replaced. Remember he broke the first one. So now just the second one. So they're saying that's evidence, that the old covenant, the temporary, would be replaced. Would be replaced by much more glorious and unfading new covenant. So there is two new covenant to give to the Israelite. Because they need rules and regulations, before they go into their new land. They need to know how to live. They need to know what to do and what not to do. So Moses asked, to see God. Remember yesterday he said, God, if you please with me, let me see the glory of you, God. So now God flipping the script on Moses. He not gonna see God glory, but it will be on him. So Moses asked to see God's glory on yesterday. And this will God respond. God's glory is his character, his nature. So God's glory is revealed in his mercy. He put some of it on Moses. This had Moses all lit up. You know, he was full of God goodness. You know, so we see that Moses finally came down, you know, from the mountain, 40 days and 40 nights, you know, and he came down with the 2 tablets to read to the Israelites. You know, so when the Israelites saw Moses, you know, they saw Moses all lit up. You know, so he was afraid. You know, so it was lit. He was lit up. You know, with God glory. Now Moses was lit up with God glory. He had to see God glory, and God give him some glory. You know, God give him some glory. That's all the word I have for you on tonight. Still Bible study. You know, we still gonna be talking about the glory of God next. The setting up the tabernacle. You know, so they're gonna be setting up they're setting up everything for the you know, for their new land. You know, so the land that God's giving them. They're getting the tabernacle together. You know, that's what God all gonna go at. All gonna go up in the tabernacle. You know, they got their rules and regulations. You know, so they're getting everything together for their land. You know, so that's all the word I have for you on today. That Moses was up there with the Lord, and he just came down all lit up, full of God glory all over him. You know, when you get close to God, you know, he see all the glories, you know, from God. He asked, let me see your glory. You know, if you pleased with me, let me see your glory. Now he's seen it all now. He's seen it all. You know, so that's all the word I have for you on today. You know, and I see y'all in the next video. Have a blessed night.